Welcome back to Caps Hockey Review. Back with you again. One game to discuss. It is a playoff edition. We got plenty to get into. We had some scary moments in Game 1, ultimately pulling out a victory. We'll break it all down. Caps Hockey Review. Let's go. And we are underway. It is Caps Hockey Review. Back with you again, another playoff edition. Hopefully, aside from the preview, hopefully this is the first of many to come. And this team's off to a good start. Let's just call it what it is. That Game 1 performance was excellent for the Caps. I think there are some areas they can improve. And, some things they're going to need to do for tonight's game to get that 2-0 lead, to complete this road sweep here. So, big news for the Caps out of Game 1. Tom Wilson he left the game really early. In the first period, he took a high stick. This is not because of that. I think even Ryan Callahan discussed it on the broadcast. This guy is not going to miss the rest of the game even if the nose is broken. He's not missing the rest of the game. So something else was going on. I know there was a TV timeout they mentioned where Wilson was on the ice skating around testing something out. So I'm guessing it's, maybe lower body related. Really big blow for the Caps. If you had told me going into this thing that they would lose Wilson within, I think he played just over, a minute and a half. If you had told me that they would lose Wilson at that juncture of the game, I would have said, man, they're cooked. Wilson is such an important piece to what they do anyway, but in particular, the way they have to play against the Panthers to have success, he's such a big part of that. Without that, I don't know if they can do it. But they got her done. So on the Tom Wilson front, game time decision for Game 2 this evening. Brett Leeson has been recalled from the Hershey Bears. I am guessing that may be Wilson's replacement if he's not able to go. Of course, we also have Connor McMichael sitting. Either way, they've both been good in the regular season. I personally, I would like to see Connor McMichael. I've been pimping this guy all year. I think he has great scoring ability. I don't know where he's at on the physical play. I mean, that's definitely an element to Wilson's game. Wilson generates offense. He did score that first Caps goal on the power play in Game 1. But that physical element to Tom Wilson's game, those big hits, when he toes the line, when he doesn't make stupid plays, it's such a game changer. Such a game changer for the Caps. Those big hits can be really deflating for the opposing team, and it could be a great energy boost for the Caps. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, it is a game time decision for Peter Laviolette. I'm guessing maybe he takes warm-ups and sees, how it feels. If he's good to go, he'll go. I think if there's, even if he's in a bit of discomfort, I think he'll play through it. I don't think there's any chance we see him sit out because it's just, too sore. I think the only way he sits is if it's, significant risk of making the injury worse. So he's a warrior. Hopefully we'll see him for Game 2. It's a big loss. It's a big blow to that top line with Ovechkin and Kuznetsov. And that line would shift around after the Wilson injury, of course, which I'll jump into. Another kind of scary moment right at the end of the game. John Carlson took a late high hit from Sam Bennett. He wasn't injured on the play. It looked really bad. He got absolutely, I think it was all shoulder and elbow to the head and the face area, and went right off the ice, but there were 14 seconds left in the game. I would not have expected him to sit on the bench. He's getting off the ice. He's just running down the tunnel. So he's all good. He's fine. That that is the very, very good news for game two. Without John Carlson, he's not your shutdown defenseman, but he does so many of those little things well defensively. And of course, he's the guy that you're looking at to kind of push the offense from that back end. So getting Carlson, making sure he's okay, that's fantastic news for game two. Getting into this game itself, with these one game editions, the program's gonna be a little bit shorter. But getting into game one, I apologize, game one, there were a lot of things to like. As a Caps fan, as a hockey fan, this game was back and forth. Both teams kind of swapped chances. It was a great, great hockey game. If you're not a fan of either of these two teams and you're just tuning in, great game. Trading chances, momentum swings back and forth, back and forth. There are doors opening in my apartment for some reason or another. Anyway, this game one performance was fantastic for the Caps, and it needs to continue. The one thing, the Caps outshot the Panthers, which was extremely surprising, but the thing I think the Caps did really well in game one, and it didn't continue through the whole game. You could definitely see points in the game where Florida was taking over, where the Caps were getting away from it. The Caps have to be physical. They actually did not win the hit count in this game. The Panthers actually technically out-hit the Caps. But what they were able to do so well, I'm working my way around to this point. I get there. I'll get there, I promise. So what they were able to do so well, take away that time and space from the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are such a fast team. They're such a skilled team. You're probably not going to outskate them all night. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to hit them, and you're going to have to find ways to take away that time and space. You're going to have to body them up. You're going to have to get physical. That's the way you combat these fast, skilled teams. If you move your legs, get a body on them, get in their space and make it uncomfortable, that's the key. If you get caught standing and you're watching the puck, you're going to get burnt. If they stand around and watch the puck tonight, they will get killed. This will be an even series heading back to DC. You can bet on it. So, more of what we saw in game one. This team has to play physical. They have to make it uncomfortable for Florida. If the opportunity's there, you have to play the body. Do not just solely focus on the puck. Don't get caught watching the puck. They have got to play the body. And that's what it's going to boil down to in this series. For the Caps, it's going to have to be a little bit ugly. We saw that with a couple of the goals for the Caps. That Wilson goal, front of the net, rebound on the power play. Oshie right in front of the net on that third goal to take the lead. It was slick, beautiful pass from Nicholas Backstrom. Oshie able to chip it right over Bobrovsky's pad. That's great hockey. That's exactly how they need to play. They need to get to the front of the net. They need to get the puck to the front of the net. And it's not going to be really a pretty series if the Caps are going to win it, I don't think. It's going to be a lot of those kind of greasy goals, get into those dirty areas, and winning the battle on the boards. If they can find a way to out-battle Florida, I like their chances. And if they can get the puck to the front of the net, don't overpass. Pucks at the net are a great play in this series for the Capitals. Bobrovsky, he's been up and down all year. We don't know what we're going to get. There were stretches in game one. He looked like he was going to be that hot goalie that walls the Caps again. That's what I was thinking. The Caps controlled so much of the play, especially in that second period. They were just coming in waves and waves and waves with zone time, shots, and they couldn't get one in. They had a lot of chances. They had a couple open net looks. They had shanked one-timers, passes ending up in skates, missing on open nets. I was thinking to myself, this is how this game is going to be for the Caps. They're going to get a ton of chances. They're going to have the better chances in the game, but it's going to be from just sheer dumb luck that they're going to miss these chances, and then Bobrovsky's going to stand up and make the saves when he has to. Ultimately, it went in the Caps' favor. But I think as Caps fans, especially at playoff time, that's always the concern, is that, the Caps playing flat and the Caps getting outplayed, that's frustrating. And that's probably the worst kind of game you can see. But almost equally as frustrating at times because effort, it's there, the opportunities are there, and they just can't find a way to bury it. We've seen that plenty of times before, and that can be so frustrating as well for both players and fans, of course. But getting to game two, it's gonna have to be greasy for the Caps. It's one of those types of series where the trainers are breaking out the ice bags a lot. They're gonna have to be physical, win that physical battle. Hits, hits, and more hits. If you think you have enough hits, you don't. And shots, get those shots on net, get them in those dirty areas. Get guys to the front of the net, take away Bobrovsky's eyes, get the puck to the net. Good things happen when you do that. And finally, more ice bags, more bruises, block shots. Blocked shots. It sucks. They hurt, but it's the name of the game in the playoffs, guys. You're expected to lay yourself out there, put your body on the line to block a shot. Especially with goaltending for the Caps, which in game one was very, very solid. You know, there was that one goal that he gave up in that latter part of the first period to Sam Bennett. Kind of an outside shot, but it was a changed angle. Maybe, I think one he'd like to have back, but he responded the right way. He moved on to the next save. That second Florida goal would come very quickly. I am adjusting a lot with my face today. Man, I don't know what it is. Tough stuff there, but enough about me. This performance from Vitek Vanacek was very good. I'll say that. I was a little surprised to see him get the net for game one. I was thinking it'd be Samsonov, but he earned this game two start. He was fantastic. He made all the big saves. He made the saves he needed to make and helped block it up for the Caps. It helps when the team in front of him plays that well. And I think what I've been talking about for the last couple months now about goalies are, product of the team in front of them. And we saw that. I mean, Vanacek didn't have to make a ton of 10-bell saves because the chances were kind of taken away from Florida before they got there. And with Vanacek being taken care of, making the saves that he needs to make, and not being expected to make, 4 or 5 10-bell saves per period, this is a great thing. So I have so many thoughts running around my head. I'm having trouble getting them out today. I apologize. Getting to game two, more of the same. More of the same. I said it. Lots of hits, lots of shots, blocking Florida's chances. But the big thing that we need to see if these Capitals are going to win game two, take away the time and space from the Panthers. Stay out of the penalty box. That was another thing. And I'm seeing it, all over Twitter, all over Facebook already, that the officiating in the NHL playoffs is a joke and it's terrible. For the Caps Panthers game one, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, there were, certainly a few iffy calls, but they went either way. And I think as a fan, and that's all you can ask. If your team gets a bad one called on them, if the other team gets a bad one called on them, that's the best you can hope for. I mean, I know that penalty on Faravari, he was actually getting his stick held. It was not the other way around. So that was, and when the Panthers player, I believe it was Ryan Lomberg, is actually skating to the box. Like he's thinking, like he knows. Like, I grabbed the guy's stick, I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar, and he's blown away that he's being told it's not on you. He's like, wait, what's going on here? And then Faravari's just dumbfounded. Like, I'm getting my stick held and I'm getting called for it. So, penalties for the Caps, stay out of the box. Stay out of the box. Avoid those needless penalties. Sometimes penalties are okay. Sometimes it's a good one to take. But those needless ones, those offensive zone penalties, those penalties behind the play, they cannot happen. We saw them a little bit in game one. If you give this Florida power play too many chances, they're going to hurt you. So staying out of the box, avoiding those needless penalties. You're not going to go the rest of the series without a penalty. I doubt you're going to go a whole game without a penalty. Just limit those, especially eliminate those bad ones, especially. And for the Caps power play, they were effective in game one. They generated a lot of chances. They had a lot of zone time. They did manage to score one. I would like to see that come up. They had 3 or 4 chances. I would like to see that improve. That good special teams play, strong penalty kill, strong power play. Those are momentum shifters for a team. And in this series, I think momentum is going to be ultimately what wins it for a team. Whoever can sustain that the most, and that's probably the same for every series. But if the Caps can pick up some early momentum in this game, maybe get to the power play early or score a quick goal right off the hop, Florida is going to bring the house in these first 10 minutes of this game to get this series tied. It's what it's going to be. The Caps are going to have to weather the storm out of the gate, and if they can get a goal in the first 5 minutes, I think they'll be in good shape. It's a 60-minute game, we know, of course, but Florida, they're going to bring the house. And if the Caps can weather the storm, get a goal quick, going the other way, it's a really big deflator for the Panthers, and it's a great momentum boost, great energy boost for the Caps. So that's what I'm looking for. Staying out of the box, more of the same, blocking shots, get into those dirty areas right in front of the net. It doesn't have to be pretty. All it has to do is cross the goal line. It doesn't matter if you shoot it in, goes in off a hand, a foot, a butt. It does not matter. What matters is across the goal line. That's all we care about. I don't care who scores. I don't care how it's done. Puck goes in the net. That's all I care about. So that's what I'm expecting. More of the same. Taking away that time and space from the Panthers. I've said it a ton of times in this episode, and I will continue to say it throughout this series. That is the way the Caps are going to win this series. If they can take away that time and space from the Panthers, body them up, take away the puck, play physical. Those big hits, that tying goal from Kuznetsov, that was directly because Alex Ovechkin steps into Brandon Montour's skating lane, puts the body on him, takes the puck away, knocks him down, and Kuznetsov's free and clear the other way. Body. Take away the time and space. That's the name of the game. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter B for body contact. Whether it's a hard check, whether you're just imposing your will and pushing players away from the middle of the ice, forcing them up the boards, that's what we want to see. You don't have to rock guys on every hit. It certainly helps when you get in on the forecheck and lay the body on their defenders, but good solid physical play isn't always laying out other players. It's taking away the time and space and taking away the skating lanes that are the primo. So that's the name of the game for our Capitals. That's what I expect to see in game 2. We're going to see on Tom Wilson. We don't really know yet. Any fan questions, bring them. None this round, but bring them if you got them. That's all I've got for today, ladies and gentlemen. I said it was going to be a little bit shorter. Looking for good stuff in game 2. I'm kind of waxing on the fly here. Looking for things to continue for game 2. Getting back to Washington. If they can get back to Washington up 2-0, that's going to be huge, especially when you consider their road record is much better than their home record this season. Their road record is in line with just about everybody else, the other 8 teams in the Eastern playoff picture. Their home record is just a skosh above 500. That may change. They may play really well. If they can stick to their game plan and do what they need to do, it shouldn't matter where the game's taking place. But let's just say, okay, for laugh's sake, they split in Florida. If they go back to Washington, if they can win both games in Washington, or flip that, if they can win tonight and then get a split in Washington, heading back to Florida up 3-1, that'll be a huge boost for this team. They're going on the road with a chance in this hypothetical scenario. They're going on the road with an opportunity to close out the series. We're gonna have to see. That's a long time from now. I'm seeing people already on the social media, on the Twitterverse, predicting, Caps in 5, Caps to sweep. Get that out of your mind. This is not going to be a swept series. This is probably not going to be a series that ends in 5 games. In a perfect world where everything goes the Capitals' way, I think they could end it in 5. Sweeps, are so hard to do in any sport that has 7 game series. But I would not expect a sweep. The sweep should be the last thing on everybody's mind. The focus for everybody should be the next game, game 2. Let's focus on this team winning game 2, playing well in game 2. Then we'll worry about heading back to the district for game 3. So more of the same for the Caps. Let's just dial the excitement down just a little bit, Caps fans. It's one game. It's one game. I'm very excited for this team. It was a great start, but now they need to build on it. They need to keep growing. They need to keep improving. There's still things they can clean up from that first game, and that's what I'm looking for. Let's worry about game 2. Let's get out of Florida with a 2-0 series lead and take it from there. Until next time, my friends, go Caps.